Hi, I'm David Eccles, and I worked for Klasky Csupo in the sound department on a number of Nickelodeon cartoons, and I was also the voice of Crumb. You're watching In Conversation with Amber Jones.
Hello, everybody. Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today, following on from the Charlie Adler episode, that was a really good one, and this is going to be a really good one as well. My guest is a voice actor, a dialogue editor. He's a sound editor. He's done behind the scenes and on the scenes, essentially. You may know him as the voice of Krumm, Horvak, and the Snorch, and other miscellaneous characters in Real Monsters. He voiced Reptar, Robot Reptar, and Dactar, and also the monster under Chucky's bed in Rugrats. He's also appeared in the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald and the Wild Thornberrys, and it's according to IMDb, a lot of the time it's not true, but I'm just taking this with a pinch of salt. My guest was a composer for What a Cartoon, Fungus Among Us, and Rocket Power.
Uh, what were the first two again? I
Uh,
definitely Rocket Power.
what a Cartoon, you know, the stuff that they did for Cartoon Network
I
in the
don't remember.
90s. I do. Who knows? It's a mystery. It's a mystery. And my guest has also been a dialogue editor on Rocco's Modern Life, a sound effects editor for Duckman and the Wild Thornberrys, a sound editor for the Metal Gear Solid video game. He was the lead sound effects editor for the Rugrats movie, and he was also the recording engineer and dialogue and effects effects editor. There you go. So many E's for the Rugrats cartoon, the original one. So my guest is fully associated with Clasky Csupo. I'm so excited to talk to him about so much things. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My guest is David Eccles. Hi,
Hey,
David.
everybody.
Hi.
Well, the one thing that wasn't true, I definitely didn't work on Rocco.
Did you not?
No, no, that was another studio. It
Oh
was a
dear.
great show.
Yeah, it was Nickelodeon. Oh my goodness. I'm just taking info off IMDb and I'm just like, okay, I better hope this is true because this is going to make me look absolutely stupid if it isn't. So I do apologize.
I should get on there and edit it.
I was gonna say, I was just, oh, it was Nickelodeon. I can't believe it was, yeah, it was completely different. It wasn't Klasky-Csupo, but you've done so much. I'm seeing, I literally have like your notes right here next to me, and I'm just thinking, wow, okay. But there is one big question that's in my mind right now, David. And
Hmm.
before I ask that, I want to ask, how are you doing today?
Great. Doing good. Haven't been sick in a long time. It's one of the upsides to being kind of isolated up here.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, good spirits, just working on stuff around the house. It's starting to warm up around here.
Mhm. It was
We
really warm.
survived the rains.
Yeah, I did hear about the rains, and yeah, the temperature does get really, really strong. I mean, it was the worst I'd ever experienced when I was out in the mountains last July. It was awful. I wouldn't do that again. So I'm not used to. We're used to just like 0 degrees Celsius rain. You know, whenever it's never sunny. But okay, so let's get started, David. Okay, so
All
my
right.
main question is now you did a few voiceovers for cartoons, like you appeared in Rugrats and stuff, but I want to know, how did you go from being dialogue sound editor to being Crumb in Our Real Monsters? How did you end up getting the role? Did you audition? Were you offered? I want to hear your story.
Uh, I don't know. I was kind of cheating a little bit, but not really. I'll tell you what the deal was. I was recording the auditions for that character. So I was setting levels and kind of taking notes while a lot of people came in the studio to give their idea of what they thought Crumb should be because nobody really had anything.
Mm.
Uh, and After listening to a lot of people do their thing, at the end of the day, Friday, after a week, I go turn to the producer and go, "Hey, let me go in there and do one." And she goes, "Yeah, okay, sure." So I pushed the button, went in and recorded, what I thought it should be. And after they compiled, the best lists of the different possibilities, I kept making the cut. People liked what I was doing, and they hired me to do it.
And honestly, I think it's beautiful, essentially. I mean,
Thank
again,
you.
like you worked with Charlie and Christian Cavanaugh. They had done voiceover before, but this was, did you, after this, were you like, look, I want to be a voiceover actor, or I want to do this, or did you just want to just stay on the sidelines and just be like, no, I'm just going to continue doing me behind the scenes stuff?
Oh, I was young and ambitious. I wanted to do everything. And I knew Christine from recording Rugrats because I was kind of the tape op and note taker for the recording sessions.
Yeah.
And just to be in the booth with Chris and Charlie was the best possible introduction to acting I could have had. It was wonderful. And Greg.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, they're talented, encouraging, wonderful people.
I remember seeing on Facebook that there was like a behind the scenes photo, and it was all of you guys sitting on a couch. It was like a film strip, but you all had like your plush toys of your characters. I know Greg's there. He doesn't have a Grumble plush. There is a Grumble plush out there. It's very hard to find. But I think
Oh,
it's a really wonderful photo. Yeah, there is one on eBay, but it's going for about $250.
I'm not getting involved in that.
I don't even know. It's just a plush. I don't even know.
That would be a great one to have. Does it have the red pumps? The shoes?
I think so. I'm gonna have to check the listing now. But speaking of the plushes, I do have all three of them. But they are in the States at the moment because my friend has, bless him, he got me them as a Christmas present. All three of them still in the box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I will because if we do ever meet, I will bring my Crumb with me. And like the best thing about it is where his hands hold his eyes, it's
Mhm.
Velcro, and his eyes can literally just attach, and you can take them off.
Yeah, yeah, I've got one of those.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, one of the kind of this size ones.
That's
Yeah,
the one. That's the
yeah.
one. Yeah, and I just think it's awesome.
I,
So I just thought
I bet you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's just really awesome, just that photo. Because I don't think like aside from that and the sort of behind the scenes stuff that they aired on Nickelodeon, the Nick exclusive stuff that you and Charlie did, I don't
Mhm.
think I could find any other behind the scenes stuff relating to the show. Also, for you at home, yes, I am. I'm repping the show. I
Yeah,
am repping David correctly.
I think that's the only thing that there is out there. That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they did like one on Chrome and Ickis. They didn't do one on Ablina though, so it makes me wonder: is it lost? Did they do one? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very weird. But I just love the chemistry of all of you three together. And Charlie says like the booth at Klasky-Csupo was small, so only you three could really fit in it. And I know probably Greg Berg. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, the way because you have to have kind of big microphone stands to hold those U87 microphones.
Yeah,
So if there were four people, two of them would have to swap out and share.
yeah.
That
And I
was the
think
small one.
yeah, I've just had a look. I'm on the eBay listing right now. Yes, he does have his shoes. They're like sort of like sewn onto him, so they're part of the fabric. But yeah, I think his ears are posable. I don't know, but it says $249.99. Yeah, not for me. Thank you. I'll try and find one myself.
What a character, though.
Yeah, definitely. And
What
that's
is
actually
that?
what. Oh, sorry. um, David, I want to know, right? Have you got any specific stories about the other three cast members? So we could start with Charlie, then Christine, then Greg, maybe?
Not any stories, but it was just, it's kind of what you would imagine. I didn't have any acting experience, but it was almost kind of wrong to get paid for that because it was pure fun, like working with those guys. And the atmosphere there was super creative. The writers would have ideas, the directors, producers, the actors, and it was so beautiful because it didn't matter where the idea came from. People would go, "Yeah, let's just try it."
I mean, I absolutely love the show. I was literally just binge watching it literally just before I logged on to this. Like, I've watched about 3 episodes in a row. I'm so slowly working my way through the series. But it's just I think I don't know why, but it's something like you sort of click with the characters. Like for me, it's not like, oh, such and such is my favorite. It's like, no, all three of them are my favorites for different reasons.
Yeah, yeah, and the writers moved it around so different. Everybody got spotlighted in different ways.
Yeah, yeah. And I said on message, I asked your messenger who voice directed it because I presumed it was Charlie Adler because he did like every other Klasky-Csupo show, but it was the producer, Chuck Swenson.
Yeah, Chuck did most of the directing, and the director of the particular episode would usually be in there for the record, and he would have ideas too. We try everything.
Yeah, essentially. So I'm presuming you got the role of the Snorch and Horvak and every other one really just how you got Crumb really, because the Snorch was a predominant character in the series as well.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know. I don't remember how Snorch happened, but that was really awesome to get working with Tim regularly. Didn't see that coming. And Horvak, yeah, that was like the third episode where they go, all right, now you're playing your dad, which was you would think you would go to a deeper voice, but I didn't have a deeper voice. That was it. I was already at the bottom of my range. But I don't know. I think maybe we pitched it down a little bit. And I haven't seen that one for a while. My dad that episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. And just like I don't know, just all I can say is that in my head right now, I'm going crazy. I'm just going as crazy just as I was with Charlie. I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is the real Crumb. Now, I don't usually ask people this very often because I have etiquette and the people say, oh, you shouldn't really ask people to do that, or I don't know, it's just putting people on the spot. But my question is, David, can you still do the voice of Crumb?
Let's find out. Um, are those your real ears, or are they part of the headphones, Amber?
Oh my gosh!
All right,
Whoa,
it's still there. Great. I didn't know.
that was beautiful. Oh yeah, these are my headphones. The Bluetooth, but they got cat ears on. They're actually signed by it's an inside joke. They're signed by Andrea Romano. She did a lot of stuff for different companies. I think she do stuff. Yeah, she did stuff for Nickelodeon, but that wasn't until like the 2000s. But yeah, she the first time I spoke to her, she loved my headphones so much. She was like, "I'm gonna order a pair myself." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." And she did. So when I met her in person, I got her to sign them. And next time I'm going out next month, I'm probably gonna end up signing hers. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, cat ear gang. And I believe I think Candy Milo might have the same pair. She did say to me, "Yeah, I do have a pair," and I'm like, okay. But going back to before, when you mentioned Tim Curry, that's literally what I was going to ask you. What was it like to work with Tim Curry whenever the Snorch and Zorlax shared a scene together?
Oh, it was Snorch really only had the one note. He only went and Zimbo would kind of translate or mistranslate because he was the only one who could understand Snorch.
Yeah.
So he might have been putting his own spin on it. And I remember describing Zimbo as kind of an Argentinian gigolo.
Why did I call him Zorlax? His name's Zimbo. Where did I get Zorlax from? Oh my gosh.
Well, I heard Zimbo somehow.
I said I should have just kept my mouth shut. I said Zorlax. I'm like, who the hell is Zorlax? I'm like, I'm gonna have to search that because that probably is an actual character in the show.
If not, it's yours.
Or it might have been from the episode. I swear it was. I don't. Where have I heard that? I have no idea unless it was just a one-off character or something. That is so weird. Beg my pardon. Zimbo. I've literally just Googled like the show right here, and I've got to ask, especially because she's the only main cast member who's not here with us anymore, Christine Cavanaugh. Have you got any? I know I said specific stories before, but Did you keep in touch with her before she passed? Because I know Charlie spoke to her every single day before her passing. So I just didn't know if you guys were close or, if you
Uh,
out of that or not.
no, she moved up to Oregon, I believe, before she got sick. Christine was amazing. The stuff she did with Chucky, just the things that she would do with the lines, nobody else could have done that. I mean, she was so creative. She was so in touch with her instincts. It was really amazing working with her.
Oh, that's really bittersweet, honestly. Like I see all these interviews and speaking to all the cast members, because I've pretty much spoken to all of you guys now, Greg and Charlie and you. I just think Christine would have been perfect to interview.
She was so fun. She was so full of life.
That's so
Never
sweet.
met anybody like her.
Oh, that's really sweet. That truly is really sweet. And speaking of sort of like present day, I know you have sort of voiced Crumb in a few. I know there was a Paramount Plus ad that was a few years ago that you apparently voiced Crumb in. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was you.
That was a couple of years back, right at the tail end of COVID.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I completely forgot. I just nudged it real quick because I completely forgot. I just wanted to show you something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lounge fly bag I got for Christmas. So it's like a lenticular TV, but if you sort of move it, you can see the
Wow.
I forgot their name. Ickis, Oblina, and Krumm, and then you got
Yeah.
Rugrats, and then you got Cat Dog. So it sort of like it changes like the picture.
Where'd you get that?
Loungefly. The Loungefly, they're a bag company. They do a lot of bags, and there is a they have done a few Nickelodeon ones that you can see the real monsters on. And if you open it up, right, it comes with this is attaches onto it. It's like a remote control as the coin purse, and inside is literally just like all these different art pieces and characters, and that's from right there. Just about to see.
Oh, all right. What's that company again? I'm writing that down.
Loungefly.
Lounge.
And they have done a good few Nickelodeon related stuff, and I'm trying it. They did a what's it called? They've done like a mini backpack of like a ton of Nickelodeon characters. Right, I'm gonna have to pull this up for you because I'm absolutely in love with this, and I'm trying to get a hold of it. Nickelodeon Loungefly backpack. Right, this is absolutely beautiful. Hold on. So there's that. Okay, so I found one. It doesn't look like it has real monsters on it, but it has like Rugrats and Rocco and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, and the thing is, they go for a very hefty price. There's a standard sort of backpack that's basically the same texture I have inside of my
Yeah.
bag. This is the one I was on about. This is the one I was on about. This one with all the characters and stuff. There we go.
Oh yeah.
So you can see, you probably see Crumm in there somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, he's there. He's there. There he is, lurking around. And then they did another one. Yes, they do many variants. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? It's here. Oh my gosh, this I absolutely love. It's got like Rocco on it. It's got Angry Beavers, and it's got like logos and all that, and just yeah, I love it. What's that one? It's Double Dare. So this is like classic Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah. Big old Reptar dominating there.
Yeah, right next to Crumb. Oh man, if I find one of these, like one of the Nickelodeon ones, or if I happen to get like, I need it. I want to give one to you, honestly. Like, you could do with a launch fly in your life.
Oh, I got a little trivia you might like.
Oh,
Uh, the dog in Rugrats, Spike.
yeah.
We decided kind of early on that we weren't going to do, human voice kind of things like Scooby Doo kind of stuff. We would use real dog noises to kind of
Ooh.
keep it real. And my dog Lena did a lot of the Spike vocals. They came from a bunch of different places, but my dog did some of them.
Oh, what breed was she?
she was like a Labrador Shepherd.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you were the one who did the voice, the vocal effects. I'll be like, whoa, okay, that's a completely
Uh-uh.
different story. I was like, whoa, I'm about to, this is gonna flip the table real quick. That's
And
so wholesome.
she came from Gobor Chupo, from Clasky Csupo.
Oh,
One,
oh,
he went to the pound and got a dog from the pound, rescued a dog from the pound. And one of our producers, Geraldine Wood, was visiting his house and said, "So, how long has your dog been pregnant?" And he's, "Pregnant? What?" And this dog had 9 puppies.
oh, wow.
And I heard about that and said, "So, Gabor, you went to the pound and you got 10 dogs."
That's so adorable. Oh, that's really sweet. I love that. I love that. I love that. Do you have any pets at the moment?
At the moment, we there was a feral cat that came by.
Oh,
So we
okay.
started giving him lots of food, and now he's a house cat. He turned around,
Oh,
and now he's our cat. He's our new cat.
what's his name?
We don't have a name yet. I call him Cat Cat,
Cat Cat. I love that. Keep it like that. I love that.
but it's time for a name.
You
It's
so I wonder. I don't know. I'm not gonna decide. I'm leaving it up to you. It's not my cat. It's not my place
You
to name
can
him.
text me later. I'll send you a picture.
Oh yeah, that, I think you're gonna say text me later the name. I was like, I could just say it now. Just name him Crumb or something.
Oh, he's a
Reptar.
beautiful cat. He's
Snorch. I don't.
too pretty to be called Crumb.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, but Cat I think is a really funny name. I love that.
I kind of like it too.
100%. Yeah, yeah. So, aside from doing Our Real Monsters, you did obviously a lot of guest spots in different cartoons. So like Rugrats, Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald, Wild Thornberrys. So were they also, oh yeah, we just need a voice. David, do you want to jump in? Or was it just like how did the process go for the other sort of guest
Uh,
spots?
Mainly what you said. We've got this little part. How about you two? I think the Ronald McDonald thing. I was a bear, and I
You
think
were,
I had
yeah.
one word. I don't. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was myself. I've not seen the Scared Silly. I've not seen that in a good while, so I'm probably gonna have to rewatch that and just find the one word that you said.
Yeah, I've got a VHS of that one.
Really? I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, because they were released on VHS and it was McDonald's who gave them out, and then like the sixth one, the Loch Ness one, was only available on the Klasky-Csupo website. So that's why it was not really put online until I'd say at least a few years ago. But what was it like to sort of well, essentially, you kind of, I guess you did work on it, or did you not do the dialogue editing and stuff on that?
I don't know if I did dialogue editing. I might have been doing sound effects on that.
Ooh.
They
Hmm.
had some live action stuff and some animated stuff. I know that Mark Mothersbaugh wrote some songs for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it was him and Drew Newman who carried mainly the Clasky Csupo franchise.
We couldn't have done better than those two.
For real, I agree. But I want to take it now way back. Okay, I want to know sort of. Well, first of all, like, what was it like growing up? And second of all, sort of, how did you get into Klasky Csupo as a sound editor? Were you doing sound editing before that? Did you always want to be sort of like working, like doing this sort of um processing, mixing behind the scenes? Just tell me your story.
Oh, I was, boy, in retrospect, the luckiest boy in the world. I had moved from Austin, Texas, out here in '89 after graduating from UT. And it was only 3 months after moving to LA. I was in a house with somebody that I knew from Austin, Nathan, and a guy named bass player named Joe Russo, who played with Green Jelly and formerly Green Jello, and he was working at Klasky, doing background, I think, background for The Simpsons, which hadn't even come out. I joined up with him in August, and the first Simpsons wasn't until December, so nobody knew about The Simpsons. And he said there's an opening for a production assistant for this HBO half hour called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It was just a single based on the children's book. It was just a 1.5 hour animated thing for HBO. And I joined up as a production assistant. And that went on for close to a year. After that, I did some stuff with Simpsons, just kind of working around the studio on the different projects. And I got on as, I'm trying to remember, this is 35 years ago. And yeah, I got on as a sound editor, assisting the main editor, Carl Garabedian, doing dialogue editing on mag film. You know, the big reels of film and the rewinds and the sound block and all that. And did that for about half a year. And then they decided, Kurt Vanzo, who was starting up the sound department, said, let's move into digital editing because this is how it's going to go eventually. And got on the ground floor of editing on Pro Tools, which was called Sound Tools back then. It was only stereo, only 2 tracks. And we were just kind of figuring it out as we went along, editing dialogue in the computer. Stuff crashed all the time. We lost stuff, had to redo stuff. And now nobody does it any other way, really. So got lucky. I got to learn on the job.
Yeah. So, like, was Rugrats your first sort of production? I know this is stupid considering I've said all the productions that you've done. Was Rugrats your first? Well, I mean, it was 19. I'm sorry, my head isn't screwed on today.
You gotta give it a break every now and then.
Yeah, I keep making an ass of myself, and I don't know how to stop.
Oh, you're not. You think you are, but you're really not.
I mean, you should have.
I should have seen what?
You should have seen me with Charlie Adler as soon as I answered the call. I was like, I've had this on my calendar for weeks. My anxiety's like going through my body. I'm like, oh my God, hi. And just like, he's like, Amber, there's no need to be nervous. There's no need to put yourself through all of that. We know each other. We've worked with each other. You've been in my class. There's no need to sort of be afraid. It's just me. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, you're right. You're just another human being like myself. It's like I could just be talking to a friend. I just got to act like I'm just talking to a mate. Yeah, sorted. Perfect. There we go. And
first time I saw Charlie directing a room full of people, it was just, wow, you were born to do this, weren't you? Yeah, that's the director in him. He can make everything okay.
For real, definitely. And your composing work, I've got to bring up, because we're not going to talk about What a Cartoon. That's not real. Rocket Power. So I didn't realize that you did sort of composing work as well. So what sort of composing are you sort of into? Are you into sort of guitar music? Well, I know that's like asking what instruments do you play? I know you play guitar because you had one before we started recording. How what do you do when you compose music?
Well, I was lucky because the Rocket Power palette they kind of wanted surf music, and they're mainly skateboarding and surfing. So for me, that's like punk rock, and some kind of contemporary hip hop sort of flavored things. And I was kind of young and ambitious, and they offered me, yeah, I can do it. I can do all that. And they let me play. They let me play around and see what I could come up with. And yeah, a lot of that was starting out with drums and bass and guitar and just layering it up in the studio. And sometimes taking that music and cutting it down to fit the scene, and sometimes doing it to picture.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I like it. I like it. So I had a question in my head. Now my head's it's just come back to me. Going back to Our Real Monsters, I want to know, because to be honest, I wish I did ask Charlie this, but we were very restrained on 1 hour, so I didn't. What was it like to return as Krumm in the Rugrats episode Ghost Story? Because I believe that was about a year or two after Real Monsters ended, I think. I don't know whose idea it was to put the characters in that episode, but I live for it. Considering everyone was there at the time, you were working on the show. Charlie was voice directing, Christine was doing voiceover on the show. Yeah.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm blanking out on that one. I remember the episode. I remember doing it, but I don't think I've seen it since we recorded it. I don't remember seeing it. No, I must have edited the sound effects or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to describe it because I'm not risking showing a clip because I know Viacom would come after me for copyright. But all I remember is that all the kids are in Halloween costumes. They're in a hallway. Angelica's dressed as a witch, and then they're all walking down the sort of like the corridors. And then Chucky opens a door. All three monsters are sitting in front of a TV. Ablina's holding a newspaper. They turn around. All four of them start screaming, and then Chucky just shuts the door. And then obviously it's all these monsters, that they're discovering and stuff. And then Angelica's like, "Oh, get them, monsters!" And then all of them just start coming out. Ablina, Krumm, and Nickus are here. They sort of start coming towards the babies. And then Tommy's like, "Oh, you don't want to eat us?" And then Nick is like, "Oh, why not?" And he's like, "Oh, well, because there's a yummy chocolate pudding in the fridge." And then Crumb's like, "Chocolate pudding or babies?" And then Evelyn is like, "It is a very sort of interesting decision. What do you think, Icky?" And then Ickes just goes ahead and licks Chucky, and he's like, "Oh, definitely pudding." And they go downstairs, and then that's pretty much the only line that you had in it.
I remember that line. They gave me the best lines. It's so easy to make that work. That's so damn funny.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now this is going to be a very controversial question because I think I already know what the answer is going to be. If there was, now as I said, I know what the answer is going to be. I don't know why I did it like that. I do apologize. If Our Real Monsters was to be brought back, would you return as Krumm? I know it's probably not going to be brought back because no one could ever replace Christine as Ablina. No one.
That wouldn't be easy. Yeah, of course I'd do it.
Could be possible. Could be
I love all those characters. This guy, Peter Gaffney, is the one who came up with the idea. I think it started with, he had this idea of this book of monsters. And it was like this catalog of all the different monsters. And he turned that into this whole world. He was kind of a brilliant guy. And all the writers.
Before you sort of jumped in the booth to start voicing Krumm, did you have any idea on what he looked like? Did you see his concept art at all, or did you just went in not knowing? Oh, you knew? Okay.
Yeah, the picture came first. And also some characteristics that he was smelly and that he liked being a monster, and kind of came easy to him, and that's what we had to go on.
Yeah. You know what? I don't care if Viacom come for me. I'm not gonna show much. I'm gonna try and attempt, if it doesn't crash, to. It worked. It didn't crash. It didn't crash. It's I do have the clip at hand if you are interested in maybe doing a little watch along commentary thingy. I don't know. But here you go. So this is what I was on about there. See that one, please go. And then you've got this part where they're all coming towards So there, you got them guys on the right, you got all these other ones, and then you got like that.
You monsters don't want to eat us.
Why not?
Because there's a yummy chocolate pudding downstairs in the kitchen.
Chocolate pudding or babies?
It is a very hard decision. What do you think, Kiki?
Oh, definitely pudding.
And that's pretty much it. That's it. I know they sort of, sort of like appear here, and they sort of appear at the end when Angelica's doing like her monologue and stuff like that.
You babies don't know anything.
I need to get Cheryl Chase for my podcast. I'm in touch with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, here they come.
With all kinds of scary monsters.
And I suppose you did that, snarling voice that Crumb did. Oh my gosh, that was actually quite awesome, to be fair. I hope Vicon don't come after me for that. It's fair use. It's fair use. Okay.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least if I appeal, you can vouch for me.
I'm sure.
For real. Now, I want to sort of address your work going away from Klasky-Csupo. Said on IMDb you were the sound editor for Metal Gear Solid, so I didn't know during your time at Klasky-Csupo if you did editing for other companies as well, or if you were just...
Not a whole lot. Somehow Kurt Vanzo, I think he was the head of the sound department at Klasky. Mm-hmm. Somehow he got the gig for doing the very first Metal Gear Solid for Sony, and he threw me some of the work doing background editing, and they didn't want video game sound. They said they wanted big Hollywood sound. So the backgrounds, there were these big cavernous spaces, so they wanted it kind of to sound like a big spaceship or like the Nostromo, and they didn't want it plonked out for TV sound or video game. They wanted it, so we gave them these big ass rumbly big sounds for Metal Gear Solid. And that was fun.
That does sound like fun. What did you say? The microphone cut out.
Kurt's the one that made that all work.
Ah, right. Oh, awesome. Now, working on the features for Klasky-Csupo, I believe it was only the Rugrats movie. I'm not sure if you worked on the Wild Thornberrys movie as well, or any of the other Rugrats ones, or...
No, just the first Rugrats.
Ah, right. I see. So, I believe sort of like after the sort of Rocket Power era, it was that mid-2000s era that Klasky-Csupo sort of kind of wound down, essentially. So what have you been doing since the company essentially folded? I think it was 2008. So coming up to 20 years, nearly.
Yeah, 2008. I kind of made a move into fixing up houses.
Ooh.
And learning kind of construction and building stuff and cabinet making. And I've kind of been doing that on and off since.
Ooh, that sounds really fun. I mean, stop. You've just given me just like a really funny thought, because you know what I'm like. I just like think of anything so funny. Imagine like you're getting your house sort of, you're getting work done on your house, and you're just looking, and you're like, "Yeah, honey, who's the builder?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's this guy." And you're thinking, but then just if it was my house, I'd be like, "You mean to tell me our builder is Krumm? Krumm is our builder?" I mean, people would be like, "Would you trust him?" I'm like, yeah.
It happened a couple of times. No, it's fun.
Just holds his eyes, or he's just hammering a nail in the wall or something. he's that sort of bean. I love him. So it's Gen-Z slang. She's so scrunkly. He's a little bean.
That's a good example of something like I never thought that I would be moving into that. And
Oh,
it was something that I wasn't really interested in until I started doing it. And I liked the people I was working with. And all of a sudden, putting floors together was interesting and making cabinets that lined up properly. That was never interesting to me before. And then all of a sudden it was. So
yeah, yeah.
that's great how life can be like that.
Yeah, definitely. No, actually, that has actually just given me, well, not that specifically, but kind of. You'll see why in a second. It's given me sort of like a nice sort of thought, if that makes sense. So a few years ago, this company called GalaxyCon, who do a lot of conventions and stuff, during sort of 2020, 2021, they would do like these virtual reunions, Q&As, and then you could put just video chats with people. I'm like, why didn't they do one with our real monsters? I don't even know if they did a Rugrats one, but I think it would have been nice if they did a real monsters one with you, Charlie, and Greg. I think that would have been really nice. I really think it would have been nice.
Yeah. What are they called again? Galaxy?
GalaxyCon, they're not really doing them anymore because they've since returned to like in-person events. Um
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you ever get any requests to do like, I believe, because I've only seen PD's podcast episode with you. Do you ever get asked to do any appearances or podcasts or interviews or anything like that, or are you just sort of, you know,
No.
oh, oh,
It was great doing that one with Pete and his friend. They were
yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, definitely. I did do a few. I have done a co-hosted a few ones with him. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Do you ever get like, I'd say fan mail, but oh well, that's outdated, man. Do you ever get like messages from people saying like, "Oh my gosh, I loved your work as Crumb" or something like that? Do you get,
Oh yeah,
you know?
I used to get like fan stuff and want some autographs or I audition for stuff sometimes because I've got the studio here.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really cool. Like I need to literally I don't care how long this would take me, or like if it has to be possible. I want to try and get you, Charlie, and Greg just to be with each other again. I'm not even sure when the last time it was that you all last since saw each other, because I mean it could have been when you last recorded Real Monsters, but I know Charlie and Greg are seeing each other at TFCon next month. So when was the last time that you essentially saw everyone else apart from Christine?
Well, it was Brandon's funeral. I think I said 8 years ago that I saw Charlie, and I ran into Greg at an audition somewhere in Hollywood. Yeah, and he was telling me about his son who was, I was doing the music for Rocket Power, and his son was in a band just starting out
Yes.
that stuff. And he was real proud of him. It was so cool. And and Greg, man, he was at Woodstock.
Ooh, what, his son or Greg?
Greg, Greg
Oh,
at
yeah, I
the
remember. Yeah, in the 60s. I remember now. He
yeah.
did say, yeah. Oh my God, I remember you told me that.
When
So
I found that out, I was like, dude, you don't look that old. Wow.
and then I
Were
just
you
see like
12?
I'd see really young photos of him on Facebook. I'm like, that's not Greg. That's not Greg. That doesn't look like him. I'm just like, what? And I'm pretty sure there was a picture of him that I did see of him at like Woodstock. And I'm just thinking, that's not Greg. That's not Greg. I refuse to believe that. That's not him. Not believing it. No. Greg, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry.
He's another one of those intensively creative people. Like he's got a bunch of voices in him.
Oh, for real, definitely. Um, I met him within 2 weeks apart of each other. I met him at San Diego Comic Con. Then he came over to a UK Transformers convention that we have called TF Nation. We hung
Wow.
out a lot over the weekend. I didn't expect to spend as much time with him as I did, but I remember sort of after ClubCon, which is like the Saturday evening entertainment, he was in the lobby. I was like, I'll go say hi to him. We ended up sitting there and chatting for over an hour. I was like, wow. And we just told each other stories about each other. I'm just like, wow, oh my God. And then he was like, do you want to join me for breakfast tomorrow morning? I'm like, holy shit, yeah, of course. And so it wasn't for long though, because he had other obligations, but we had just like half an hour of just us eating food.
I am not surprised. He's like a real easy person to spend time with.
For real. For real. Like I was like, wow. I'm just soon to potentially meet you and I'm meeting Charlie in like I'd say how long is it from now? Just over 2 weeks. Wow, that's actually gone quite fast. I know it's just so crazy. I'm just like, wow, okay. Okay, can just time just stop real quick? It's just I need to take a breather. It feels so good. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
So, David, have you got any sort of hobbies you like doing? Of course, there was the guitar at the start of the call. Do you play music? Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, guitar, a little bit of keyboard, synthesizers.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 drum kits set up right now. I'm trying to
Ooh.
play drums a bit. I got a pedal steel guitar down here. That's a very weird instrument.
Ooh.
And I'm
Look
trying to
at
get that.
I think that's quite cool.
They're hard to keep in tune.
Yeah.
You gotta wrestle them in tune.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's just really cool. Just like voice act people in the business who have hobbies like outside of their voiceover, or just like work business. I'm just like, you're knowing like 2 different people, and it's crazy. It's madness. It's madness, honestly. And it's magical. Let's just say that it's magical.
Yeah, magic. That's kind of how I think of the whole 10, 12 years, whatever it was with Klasky-Csupo. That was just being in the right place at the right time. I got to do everything. They just kept giving me all these different opportunities.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
For real. And I know obviously Rugrats are now back with the reboot and Charlie's voice directing it. Would you ever consider sort of returning? I'm not sure if it's officially Klasky-Csupo who are producing it, considering I'm not sure because I know they're still using the Robo Splat stuff. But would you like to go back into doing sound work for them if they ever do make shows, or if they're still doing Rugrats on Paramount Plus or something? I don't know. Would you?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Not only are they the best people to work for, looking back on it, I think I was really in my element doing the sound effects. I felt like I was in the right place doing that. It was creative. I think I was well equipped. Yeah, I didn't feel out of my league. I felt a bit out of my league doing the acting and the composing stuff, but the sound effects, that was good. Especially doing the Rugrats movie at Paramount.
Yeah.
Again, under Kurt Vanzo. It was like going, 30 tracks wide on a big train wreck sequence in the big league. That was fun. That was big fun.
I was just trying to. I thought I would show you a little surprise when we're finished recording because I did this with Charlie as well, and he was absolutely over the moon. So I'm just texting my mum to see if I could bring the surprise upstairs. Because I've just completely spelled that wrong. If he's around, there we go. Okay, there we go. Yes. Yeah. How did you know I like the color yellow?
I didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a new phone I got for my birthday. Oh, Frank Welker, good pleasure. But yeah, it's like so crazy because like I open the phone, it's iPhone 14, but then I look at the back, it's all yellow.
Nice.
Love it. Do you have a favorite color?
I used to say green.
Ooh.
I guess it still is green. Much green as possible.
I feel as if that would I feel as if that would probably be Crumb's favorite color as well. I don't know. I don't know that. That's just what I think.
I'm kind of boring color palette wise. In animation, they have what's called the color department, where they assign every set, every background, every character. Somebody's got to assign the exact color that it's going to be when they do the paint. Used to be ink and paint, now it's all digital, but you still need to pick that exact color that everything needs to be. And the people in the color department see color variations that most of us don't. Like they would go, "Do you see the difference between this and this?" And I'd be all, "No, not really." Really? I mean, there's a huge difference.
I'm like that. I mean, I studied art as like a final thing for my final year of school. So I'm like that imperfectionist. I'm like, are these two different shades of pink? I'm like, yeah, that's more rosier color, and that one's more closer to the color red. But that's just me. But
well, I'm like that with sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so well, like
sound,
different frequencies or
character frequencies, everything. Like if you're picking a sound effect for a car, the difference between a truck and diesel and Ford and Italian sports cars. There's huge differences in all that stuff.
My friend has 3 cats. One's a British long hair, one's like a black and white one, and then the other one's like a sort of a brown tabby one. But honestly, they're just so cute. Honestly, that's me just sending you just pictures of cats and stuff like that.
Do they get along, the 3 cats?
Essentially, I mean, all of them are pretty approachable, but the older one, the black and white one, he's kind of fragile. He doesn't really, if you go to sort of like stroke him, he doesn't like. I guess like he just doesn't like being, socializing. He doesn't like being petted, so he usually tends to sort of keep away from all the hubbub if someone's getting one of them's getting pampered or something like that.
They're all different.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all completely different.
Definitely.
Dogs too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, every time. Well, I mean, I've seen more cats than dogs when I've been to visit people in LA. So, it's sort of a difficult one. But for the UK, yeah, I can definitely see the difference. Okay, David, I have just a few more questions for you, and then we're gonna wrap it up. All right. I asked Charlie out the list, and I've got to know what yours is as well. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Pet peeve in general?
Yeah, is there anything that is there anything specific that bothers you? So Charlie's like, he hates people saying anyways, or it's all good, or just like, like arrogance and stuff like that.
No, I do have a couple.
Ooh.
People saying literally when they mean figuratively. Like, my head literally exploded. Oh, you mean your head figuratively exploded? And the other big one is people saying, I could care less, when they mean I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Saying the exact opposite of what they mean.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean, literally.
And everything else for me.
I know, but for real, I literally do see what you're talking about. That's not figuratively, by the way.
Good.
And really, just my final question to you, David, is there sort of any advice to anyone out there, really, or is there any sort of words you live by, or a motto that sort of like things sort of, I mean, I was going to ask, is there anything that you and Crumb have in common, but I don't think I don't know what the answer for that would be, so I'm just going to say, is there any words you like to live by when you're doing your job or when you were working in the business? What's the best advice you could give to someone that you were giving yourself? There we go.
For showbiz kind of stuff?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
boy, if you can find a place like Klasky-Csupo was when I joined up with them, where it was just this really open, creative environment filled with people who just lived for art. If you can find that, get on in there, because that was the best. It really was.
Very wise to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'll probably see when I drive, sort of in that area when I go out to Hollywood, LA, where the studio building used to be. I can't remember the exact address. I know my friend has it burned into his head, but I believe they still have the artwork on the side of the building of the Rugrats and Real Monsters.
Yeah, yeah, that was the building that they bought, and they were leasing the main three-story building on the corner of Fountain and Highland, which went away. But I think Gabor and Arlene still own that building.
Ooh, okay. I'm presuming like you recorded all our Real Monsters and all the other projects in that building or the one on the corner.
It was in the annex. That's what we called it, the annex, because it came about second. And that's where they built the two studios. That's where my office was. Spent a lot of time in that building.
Ooh, that sounds really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, David, I just cannot thank you enough for coming on my show. I know I will never have Oblina's voice on my show, but honestly, I think having you and Charlie and Greg on my show, just making her proud, really. Just it makes me feel really, it's really wholesome. It's really wholesome that I've managed to speak to you three. Very fine gentlemen.
It's been super fun talking to you. It's great meeting you, Amber.
It was great meeting you too, David. David, is there anything you would like to promote, or have you got any sort of public social media that fans can follow you on, or just where can we find you online if you don't mind being found?
No, I don't mind being found. I think I'm pretty listed. I'm in the phone book.
Ooh, the yellow pages.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm pretty available. I'm not really doing much.
Right, well,
I'm
I'll just point them in my direction. If they want something, they have to go through me.
okay.
Essentially, if so. But in that case, you at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF featuring the lovely David Eccles. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did filming it and just putting it all together. Thank you again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye. And cut.